Welcome to News Hour. Now in News Hour tonight,
people are mocking me, they were laughing on the social media. How can you use bottles to irrigate? Now, 16 months afterwards, and everything we started has matured.
News Hour, weekdays at 8 p.m. on UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
Are you in need of a news package that is thorough and satisfying? A news package free of distortion? Then your uncertain moments are over. News Hour now brings you comprehensive news facts, updates, and analysis with all loose ends tied. News Hour, a production of Current Affairs section of UBC. Get it and digest it every weekday, 8 to 9 p.m. across all UBC radio networks.
as you may be aware, tomorrow, 8th March, is International Women's Day. National celebrations will take place in Kiruhura district, and because of that upcoming event, we have dedicated tonight's News Hour program to women's related issues. Here is a sample of what is coming up. We have prepared for you stories on women in women empowerment, women rights, women in businesses, women in security, and women in health. Away from the women issues, old students of Kira College Butiki have rejected a newly posted head teacher, plus foreign news and sports news coming among other things. But first, let's hear the news, the main news bulletin by Spora Ajua.
Thank you, Julie. Good evening, listeners. We're glad you're joining us. I am AJ Spoiler. These are the news headlines. Women parliamentarians want telephone companies to reduce data costs. Constitutional Court Judge Kenneth Kakuru is dead. A ceasefire has taken effect in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Japan forced to blow up its new rocket during a failed launch. A section of members of parliament against the genetically modified organisms GMOs are planning to move and table a new bill on GMOs on the floor of parliament. The mover of the GMO prohibition bill, Bufumbira East Member of Parliament, James Nsababuturo, said the bill, once passed into law, will penalize the promoters of GMOs in the country. Buturo said the introduction of GMOs by the Western world will erode away the independence of the country's indigenous seeds, and Africans will always depend on the manufacturers and sellers of GMO seeds seasonally. The seconder of the bill, Chiboga Woman District MP Christine Nachimwero, said GMOs expose Ugandans to cancer as a result of biochemical accumulation and biotoxin chemicals that later pollute water and air that is dangerous to both human and animal life. She said GMOs pollute the soils, thus causing hunger to Ugandans. Nachimwero said the new bill will prohibit the transfer, cultivation, consumption and utilization of GMOs in the country. The Biotechnology and Biosafety Bill has been rejected by the President twice. The Uganda Women's Parliamentary Association, UWOPA, is to move a motion on the floor of Parliament asking the government to task mobile phone companies to lower costs on data. This comes at a time when Uganda is joining the rest of the world tomorrow to commemorate the Women's International Day, which will be held in Kiruhura district, under the national theme, Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation and a Gender Equal Future. In relation to the theme of the day, the Vice President of UWOPA, Brenda Nabukenya, and the Secretary General, Grania Nakazibwe, who is also the Mubende District Woman MP, say that women can only attain and benefit from the theme once there is cheap and accessible internet across the country, which can be used to empower women economically in selling and promoting their commodities. They also propose that government should increase the budget allocation to the ICT ministry to enable young girls in schools get equipped and encouraged to engage in technology and innovation, which will increase the number of girl children in the field of technology employment. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has called for the enactment of a school fees policy to regulate the abnormal hiking of school fees in institutions of learning. During her communication to Parliament, Speaker Among noted that parents have petitioned her, crying of school fees exploitation by schools without any rationale. She said that such abnormal school fees hiking have resulted in high school dropouts and early girl pregnancies. It's from this that Speaker Among directed the Minister of Education to urgently enact and table to Parliament a school fees policy next week. Constitutional Court Judge Kenneth Kakuru is dead. According to reliable sources, Justice Kakuru breathed his last at Aga Khan Hospital in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, after losing the battle to cancer. In 2021, the 65-year-old Justice Kakuru wrote to the Judicial Service Commission chairperson, Justice Benjamin Kabito, asking him to send his application for retirement to President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. The judge said he had been advised by his doctors to take a rest. The reason he wanted to retire at 63 years of age instead of the mandatory retirement age of 70 for the Court of Appeal or Constitutional Court justices. Justice Kakuru won the hearts of many Ugandans during the age limit debate in 2018 when he delivered a dissenting judgment saying that it was unlawful for the members of Parliament to remove the age limit cap for one to stand for presidency, the topmost office in the country, which was previously at the age of 75. Some of the lawyers who have handled cases before Justice Kakuru have described him as a brave man who will be missed for his love for democracy and rule of law. Lawyer Stephen Karari says he remembers Justice Kakuru for having been an icon and strong fighter for the rule of law who stood by his practice for all the years while still an advocate and at the bench. Katwe Police Station is investigating murder by shooting at Naiga establishment in Boston Village in Salama Parish, Makindye Division in Kampala. Luke Oyesijide, the Deputy Kampala Metropolitan Police spokesperson, says that Lance Corporal David Katamgaya from the Uganda People's Defence Forces UPDF stormed Naiga establishment along Mirembe Road wearing a green Digital Army uniform and carrying an AK-47, where he found 5 people drinking beer, instructed one of them to step aside and open fire towards the 4 remaining victims, killing one instantly. According to Oyesijide, eyewitness accounts show that Katamgaya left the bar after warning the group he would return and deal with them. Oyesijide says Katamgaya returned 15 minutes later carrying a gun and shot at the group, killing Agre Ampumuza, a resident of the same address, instantly. He says that Ampumuza's brother, Ben Twinamasko, and the third unidentified victim were rushed to Mulago Hospital, while another victim, Anita Namakula, was taken to St. Francis Nsambia Hospital. Oyesijide explains that police ascertained that the shooter was one of the bodyguards attached to the Kamswaga of Kochi. The police found an AK-47 rifle with 24 rounds of ammunition at the suspect's residence. The suspect is still at large. According to Oyesijide, although the cause of the shooting is still unknown, there are reports that this could be a crime of passion, following information indicating that Katamgaya accused the deceased of meddling in his affair with one Anita Namakula. Police has urged anyone with information that may assist in the arrest and prosecution of the perpetrator to come forward and report to the nearest police station. Amuru district authorities have impounded over 1,000 bags of charcoal in the latest crackdown on illegal commercial production and transportation of charcoal. The bags were impounded between Friday last week and Monday at Akurukwe village in Lamogi sub-county and Otwe town council. The move follows the latest directive by the Environment Minister Beatrice Anyua, banning the issuance of all forms of documentation facilitating the commercial production and transportation of charcoal and all forms of forest products in Acholi sub-region. Amuru Resident District Commissioner Stephen Odong Latek told UBC in an interview that 6 trucks and a lorry carrying the charcoal were impounded in the operation that kicked off last week. In our stories across the borders, a ceasefire has taken effect in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, although it is not clear whether it is being respected. The UN Secretary General has urged the M23 rebel group to stop fighting and withdraw from captured territory. The rebels launched fresh attacks on Congolese army positions on Monday, seizing a town and several villages. Rwanda denies backing the M23, which has captured large swaths of territory over the past year and is threatening the regional capital, Goma. Japan was forced to blow up its new rocket during a failed launch on Tuesday, setting back efforts to crack a market led by Elon Musk's SpaceX. Its space agency had to send a self-destruct command to the H-3 rocket when its second stage engine failed minutes after liftoff. Observers say it is a significant setback for Japan's Aerospace Exploration Agency, JAX. The government called the test failure extremely regrettable. The H-3 rocket is the first medium-lift rocket designed by Japan in 3 decades. It has been presented as a cheaper alternative to SpaceX Falcon 9 for launching commercial and government satellites into the Earth's orbit. The ALOS-3 system is capable of detecting North Korean missile launches, but JAX said soon after launch, engineers were forced to send a self-destruct prompt to the H-3 after it experienced reduced velocity in the second stage of its launch. Japan's Science Minister Keiko Nangolka said authorities would investigate the cause of the engine failure. Here is a quick recap of our news headlines. Women parliamentarians want telephone companies to reduce data costs. The Constitutional Court Judge Kenneth Kakuru is dead. A ceasefire has taken effect in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Japan forced to blow up its new rocket during a failed launch. That's all the news we had time for from here and the entire news team. Thank you for joining us. Stay tuned for News Hour.
Thank you, Spora. Now this is an announcement. Mzee Bale Umar, a resident of Kawempe Maganja Zone B, informs Mr. Gloria John, a Sudanese by nationality, to come and open the house he left closed 3 months ago. You have been in 3 days only. Failure to come and open I shall approach the relevant authorities, LC, including the LC1, the police, and others to help to open the house. Announced by Umar Bale, the landlord. And now let's have a short break. We'll be back in a bit.
The Uganda Water and Environment Week is back. Join us as we deliver value internally and externally by promoting a multinational integrated approach that links all sectors of water and environment, and also explore and deliberate on the water and environment resources to climate resilience. The week commemorates 3 sector days of World Water Day, World Forestry Day, and World Meteorological Day. The Uganda Water and Environment Week will take place from 12th to 17th March 2023 at the Ministry of Water and Environment headquarters in Luzira, under the theme Water and Environment for Climate Resilient Development.
Uganda Water and Environment Week is organized by Ministry of Water and Environment through the Water Resources Institute with support from development partners.
Welcome back. You're tuned to UBC Radio. This is News Hour with me, Juliet Naiga, and my producer is Alex Wandeva. Let's kick off News Hour with these stories on Women's Day. Ahead of tomorrow's Women's Day celebrations, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development has noted that the existing gender gaps between men and women in digital access across the country is due to the stereotypes some women have towards science, technology, engineering and innovation. Betty Amongi has said that the social or cultural issues in society continue to be the cause of women biases towards the field of sciences. Mary Prima Awol reports.
Journalists at Media Center, the Minister of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Betty Amongi said that access to quality learning for girls is limited by the social norms that people still hold highly, other than promoting equality, especially in rural areas. She condemned teachers and parents for discouraging girls from taking on opportunities in digital skills.
All the teachers are supposed to encourage both. You will find teachers and career guidance in schools telling girls that why do you want this? This is a difficult subject. Why don't you go for history? Why don't you go for literature? Why don't you go for home economics? But the same teachers and career guidance will guide the boys to go for science, technology, engineering and mathematics.
She advocated for gender equality in science, engineering and information and technology innovation, especially now that the economy continues to rapidly transform digitally as the government provides the necessities across the country.
The government has established technical institutes in all the 12 sub-regions in the country. Also, they are distributing computers in all government secondary school with internet, laboratory, and library to stock STEM textbook, but also have equipped laboratory so that girls are able to access just as boys.
Amongi assured women of support towards enabling them grow in their careers, especially technology related.
We will continue with the mentorship program for girls in partnership with our MDAs, in partnership with the civil society and other programs. We have many technology, engineering and other skills centers all over the country that will continue to support.
The National Women's Day celebrations tomorrow will be held at Sanga Playground in Sanga Town Council, Chirihura District, under the national theme Equal Opportunities in the Education of Science and Technology for Innovation and a Gender Equal Future. Reporting for News Hour, I am Mary Prima Awor.